Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we will be talking about a hotfix that we did receive on the 25th. I was away for the holidays, so I did miss it. I did state that I was going to miss any hotfixes that were going to come pretty much around Thanksgiving, but that I was going to cover them when I'm back, and here I am. So it's a pretty lengthy hotfix for both the 1.5.4 and 1.5.5 patch, and what's it called? Pretty much all the changes in the 1.5.4 patch are also in 1.5.5 patch, and the devs have labeled them accordingly, so it did save me some time. But there's a lot of changes here, a lot of good changes, and also some kind of I don't completely disagree with it, but we'll talk about it as we get to the changes, right? But like always, I'm going to link the hotfix announcement down below, and I have a script. Everything I say, all links that are stated, they're all going to be down below as well for you guys to check out during the video, after the video, whatever you want to do. So here are the changes. So let's go through them. So first, they fixed an issue with mounted crossbows being unable to reload while standing still. So if you were obviously mounted and you were trying to reload your crossbow, you had to get off the horse. But now that is fixed, and this is also in the 1.5.4 hotfix. So pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going over all the changes in 1.5.5, but pretty much each change that's also included in 1.5.4, I'm going to let you guys know. Next, it was fix an issue that caused companions to not have any skills and weapons. Very weird one. It used to happen to children once they became of age, but now it happened to companions. That is now fixed. Then we have a fix an issue regarding the toggle order active text and icons. So I don't know exactly. I think this has to do with obviously the formation orders, but it might be something else. But that is now fixed as well. Then we have fixed an issue that prevented weapon changing, dismounting, etc. while giving orders. So there was a lot of issues with the orders and formations, especially with obviously the new kind of selection circle that we have. That's been recently implemented to give gamepads kind of not an advantage, but kind of, how can I say this? Even playing field, right? And a lot of people aren't very happy with the selection circle. There's a lot of drama around it, but it is what it is. That's the direction they want to go. And they are making fixes for it, though, to kind of, balance it out and hopefully make everyone happy in the end. But, when you introduce a new thing, it usually has a lot of criticism if it's not wildly liked. But, a couple of fixes there and a couple of fixes there, I think we're going to get to a good agreement to where, people who have gamepads are obviously going to be happy, and the people who are playing with keyboard and mouse are obviously going to be happy as well. Next one also has to do with the selection circle. They fix an issue with the selection I can't read. With the selection, oh my goodness. It's not my day today. I don't want to hear nothing in the comments about it. Alrighty, so they fix an issue with the selection circle not showing up for gamepads. So now they will show up properly. Then we have a decreased opacity of order menu UI in general. So what's it called? The order menu UI, all that UI, now you can see through it just a little bit better. I don't know if they have a scale in it in the settings. I don't think they do for the order menu, but now you can clearly see through it a little bit better. Then we have fixed a crash that occurred when taking a quest from a noble. This was also fixed in 1.5.4, and good to see. Crash fixes always good to see. Then we have fixed an issue that caused settlement claimant decisions to be canceled and proposed indefinitely. So what happened is you would make a decision on who has the settlement, and then the vote would keep coming up. Another problem this is also in the 1.5.4 hotfix as well. But what I wanted to say is another problem that I had was was pretty much whenever I took a settlement, it would be given to me, or when anybody in my clan took a settlement, it would be automatically given to me, and then it would take like a day or two for the vote to pop up, where beforehand the vote would pop up almost instantaneously. So I don't know what the problem is there. Maybe it's a problem with my save. I don't know if other people are having that problem, but we'll see. Then we have fixed a crash that occurred on the multiplayer siege map. I'm not even going to try to, I'm going to call it B encirclement. This is also in the 1.5.4 hotfix as well. And if you do want to play multiplayer, I would suggest playing it on the live, which is the 1.5.4 patch. Usually, I don't know if it's still active. I'm pretty sure it's not. But whenever 1.5.5 came out, they had beta servers, beta multiplayer servers, but I don't know if they still do at this point. I think it's the cutoff date, which was yesterday, Sunday. So I don't know. You guys have to go. You guys are gonna have to check. But if there is no servers, if there is no players, I would transfer the game over to 1.5.4, and there's obviously gonna be players there that are playing multiplayer. Then we have fixed an issue where Northern Lords would spawn without leg armor. Very specific, very weird, but it is now fixed. Then we have fixed a crash that occurred due to the Beast Whisper perk in the scouting skill tree. This is also 1.5.4, and just I guess it crashed maybe when you got it or during it. It's not very clear, but it is now fixed. Then we have fixed an issue that allowed the player to invite their siblings to their party even though they have not come of age yet. This is also in the 1.5.4 hotfix. I did see this, and when I was playing, I did notice that I can actually start a caravan with them as well. Not a caravan, a party, a roaming party, even though they were not of age. So it's a good fix to see. Then we have fixed an issue that prevented the player from choosing their children as their heir. That's a big problem, but it is now fixed, and this was also in the 1.5.4 hotfix. Obviously, if your main character dies, you need to choose an heir, and if you can't choose an heir, that's pretty much game over, right? So it's good to see that that has been fixed. Then we have fixed an issue that allowed cities to host tournaments during sieges. This is also in the 1.5.4 hotfix. What happened is, for some reason, some cities were still hosting tournaments during sieges, and you would obviously be against the people who are sieging it if you decided to enter the tournament, so it's kind of weird, but that issue is now fixed. Then we have fixed an issue that prevented caravans from carrying sheep, cows, and hogs in some towns. This is also in the 1.5.4 hotfix, and obviously we did see the change where pretty much every grain producing village also produced sheep, cows, and hogs to kind of balance stuff out, as the devs would say, and I think that is a good change. So good to see that they fixed some issues that had to do with that change. Next we have is kind of a big one in my opinion. We have players and their parties are now counted as 50% weaker to besiegers. This will give up much less. Wait, they will give up much less with this change. Also in the 1.5.4 hotfix. So what they mean by this is now that when the AI sees you, let's say, enter a castle or get really close to not enter a castle or a town right before they siege it, or as they're sieging it, they're not going to give up as easy. They're not going to run away if you're getting close to them, or if you're already in the town, they're still going to try to siege it. Mainly, what this change does is it pretty much, in the AI's code, where they check to see of, hey, can we successfully siege this place? What are the chances? Is it possible? Whenever they decide that it's not possible, they're going to pretty much run away. But now, since the main player and their parties are now considered 50% weaker in that code, they're going to stay and actually attack, and we're going to see a lot more defensive play, pretty much as you as the main character. So that's very good in my opinion. I think there's not much in terms of like, you're always like the besieger, but there's not a lot of times where you defend the castle or you defend the town. It's very, very rare. So it's actually kind of good in my opinion. I think that gameplay is needed. So we're going to see how the change goes. Next, it was fix the issue with the wrong primary production text being shown on village tooltips. Now the most produced item in that village is the primary production. This is also in the 1.5.4 hotfix. And what they mean by this is, obviously, since grain villages, they now produce cows, sheep, and hogs. Sometimes it would say under the town that the main production is cows, even though it is grain, or the main production is hogs, even though it is grain. Now it should show the right one, which is grain in most cases. And then lastly, we have, well, not lastly, but in this section, we have slaughtering sheep, cows, and hogs now also gives hide. Pretty big. This is also in the 1.5.4 hotfix. Before, they only used to give meat. Obviously, when you ran out of food, you would slaughter your animals that you have in your, in your inventory. Now, when that happens, that you will also get hide, which I think is very, very cool. It makes obvious sense. And I think it's a good addition to the game. Now, moving on to combat changes, we have a couple. So we have fixed bows staying at max accuracy longer than intended. So some bows, obviously we had the huge change in ranged weapons where every ranged weapon had different times when it came to how long they stayed in max accuracy, how long it took to get there, and stuff of that nature, right? So there were some problems, but they're getting fixed. So they fixed the the max accuracy staying longer than intended. We're probably going to see more fixes in the future. They have stated whenever they came out with all those fixes that there are going to be fixes that are coming in the future, because it's a new system. Next we have is aiming durations are now slightly more affected by character skill. Interesting. So I'm guessing how your bow skill is, or how your crossbow skill is, or how your throwing skill is. The higher it is, the more what's it called? The longer the durations are. Makes sense, and I think that's a good change as well. Then we have adjusted ranged AI to be more accurate. Ooh. See, here's the thing. I'm cool with that if it's just the top tier AI. I don't need a militia archer to be as deadly as, let's say, like an imperial tier 6 archer. I don't need them to be on the same accuracy level, if that kind of makes sense. And that's kind of how it feels now. And I think that if you're a low level archer, you should miss a lot more shots than you actually hit. Because it kind of makes sense, right? It comes with experience. So we'll see how that change actually contributes to the game. But hopefully, bows are already OP. So I don't know. We'll see. And then also at the end we had a lot of weapon and troop changes, pretty much in terms of values of damage and stuff of that nature being decreased and increased. All changed on the screen right now if you wish to pause, but they're kind of very specific, and if you do want to go see it, it's on the screen right now. But that will do it for all the changes and fixes. Pretty lengthy hotfix, I'll be honest with you. And of course they drop when I'm away, but that's okay. I'm here now. But last thing, I'm going to end this video in the same way I end most of my hotfix update videos. I want to thank the developers for staying active and bringing good changes. Also, I have a video how you can revert your game to any other patch released. So if you are having problems on the current patch or want to get to the current patch, check out the video below. Also, I did start a Patreon. It's nothing crazy. It's basic support. It just keeps the content flowing and, all of that extra stuff. So hopefully this video is informative, and like always, stay safe.